Grant, I don't know if he's still with us. By all means, yes, you are. Please put your info there. And Dr. Grant, you put something here in the chat. Where is this? Join us at our wellness retreat at Royal Harbor Resort. Where's Royal Harbor Resort? Where is it? Collingwood? You're muted. Unmute.
Royal Harbor, just north of Berry. It's very close.
Oh,
very, very close. And
very
then you
good.
watch sunrise on Georgian Bay and you watch sunset on Blue Mountain. It's a beautiful place. Come and
Beautiful.
join us.
Thank you so much. Because you have a cottage or something, or a timeshare or something in Thornbury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which, Collingwood, Thornbury is one of my favorite areas in Ontario. Okay, our next guest or our next speaker is Maxine. She is here. Maxine, would you kindly join us? She too is a Kundalini yoga instructor, and she is the amazing Maxine.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? It looks like I missed quite a lively discussion. I felt the energy when I came in, but that's you all over, Marianne. Well, my name is Maxine. I am a wellness advocate, a certified Kundalini yoga teacher, and I'm also the vision behind OMAC's Magnesium skincare line. And I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but my journey started with burnout and a desire to have a more balanced and sustainable life. And that led me to creating the magnesium products because I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. I like one thing that just does many things. That one thing that you can use as a moisturizer, as an energizer. And as we age, magnesium is the mother mineral. So we got to make sure that we're getting enough magnesium. And, we're here to talk about vitality. And magnesium is one of those, I would say, natural healing elements that helps the body, supports healing and relaxation, which is all part of vitality. Yeah. So this morning, I would like for us, please, just to reconnect. I like to do a little meditation that just brings us back into our mind and body. So wherever you are, just try and find a nice, comfy, seated position, feet flat on the floor, spine nice and tall, regal posture, like you're a king or a queen. Beautiful. We're going to keep it very, very simple. The objective is you're going to be seated so nice and tall that your crown or tiara must stay on your head. Take your left hand and place it on your belly or right around where your belly button is. And then the right hand on the heart. Now, the right hand is the masculine side, and in today's world, there's just so much masculine energy that we're going to ask for some healing from the heart to that masculine side. Just sit here and feel it as the breath fills up from the belly into the heart. You get to decide if you want it through the mouth or through the nose. We're going to keep it simple here. Now go ahead and close your eyes if that feels right to do so. And bring the gaze between the eyebrows, the third eye. And all you have to do is a deep inhale, filling up the belly. Feel your prana move up into your heart. And as you exhale, pushing it out, push all of it out, even when you believe you have no more. Now just continue with this flow, inhaling, filling the breath up and exhaling. it becomes so automatic. It's effortless. Keep that crown nice and tall on your head, allowing that energy to come up the base of the spine to nourish, to recharge, to revitalize. Now we have one more minute here, and I'd like you to bring something to mind. My vitality feels like maybe it's more energy. Maybe it's more clarity. Maybe it's better sleep. Or you can choose something of your own, but feel it, connect with it, become it. When the mind and body are connected, all things are possible. Now we have 30 seconds left. Let's really seal the deal. Inhaling, filling up the belly, up, up, up through the heart. Exhale, pushing it all out. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, filling up the belly, bringing it to the heart. Exhale, pushing it out. And let's do 1 more as a collective. Take that deep inhale. Bring it up, 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 up. Just a little bit more up. Exhale, push it out. Now stay here. Statue-like posture. Do not move. Be still. Regal position. Keep that crown nice and tall on your head. Spine is elongated. And now take your deepest, most magnificent inhale. Exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome to who you truly are when there's less stress, less anxiety, less worry. And Marianne, I'm so glad that you chose this topic because vitality should be a lifelong mission. Learning how to sustain our energy for mental clarity, physical well-being, no matter your age. Vitality is about intentional choices to support your health, right? And much of vitality is focused on the physical. And the physical is a great place to start. You know, once you want to become more aware and have that vitality. But the mental, the spiritual, and the mindfulness, they all coexist together. And mindfulness could be taking a break from your computer like every hour, just moving your eyes, getting some fresh air. As Michelle is doing, rehydrating, having her water. It's as simple as that. Maybe you walk into the coffee store in the morning to grab your coffee. You know, it's not taking away all the things that you love. In fact, it's adding things that can add years to your life and your quality of life, right? So body and mind connection is all part of fostering vitality, by nurturing the body and the mind. And once you start to do those things, you're like compounding. Things just start to happen better. You start to feel younger. You start to have more energy. And guess what? Our nervous system, well, you all know about the nervous system, the information overload, how wired we feel. You know, you can't be on your computer without 10 messages popping up and emails. So we know that the nervous system is taking a pounding, right? So that's why Kundalini, remember I said I love that one thing that benefits us in so many aspects of your life. And that's why Kundalini is so profound. And one could even say that Kundalini is nuance, right? Because it's that one thing that balances your nervous system, the mind and body working together in harmony. And Kundalini can also add to your vitality and your physicality. And Kundalini can be done anywhere. If you're seated, if you're standing, if you're in a chair, if you're in a bed, simple, simple little practice. Kundalini has been around for, man, well, yoga in itself has been around for over 5,000 years, right? And now we are learning more and more about these mindful practices because they're so powerful. People in the East used to believe that, you know, if we were introduced to these practices, that we would abuse it. And yes, some have, but how these techniques that have been practiced by yogis for thousands of years can make you feel like you're okay, that maybe you don't need that extra caffeine. Who can identify with that? 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I need a pick me up. You know, if I'm lucky, sometimes it doesn't happen till 4. But there's just so much of us that are on the edge that you open up your email and it's like, oh my God, I haven't even dealt with yesterday's or the day before. And there's like 10 or 20 more. There's so much that's asked of us. But really, I'm just here to remind you that if you're pouring from a cup, make sure that your cup is filled up, right? This is not new. You've heard this over and over, but the demands are so great that we just forget that we matter. Our self-care matters, right? And this is why things like magnesium, and I'm going to go back to the magnesium because magnesium can add that vitality to your life. And as we age and our bones and our muscles, we start to lose that mass. We're supposed to get all these minerals from our food, but we know about the soil and how it's degenerated and all the stuff that they put in our foods to stimulate the demand. Well, we're just not getting what we need to thrive, to feel alive, and to come alive. So we got to do a little bit of research, see what works for us, see what works for you. But I would say keep your products simple, keep them clean. And that's why magnesium is such a beautiful tool to have. And whether you're eating it in food, in your spinach, in your kale, in your sweet potato, you can always add more because one of the things that I've discovered, I do a very physical practice. My muscles get depleted. I teach professionals that are very high energy, high going. When I use that magnesium, my recovery time, oh my gosh, I still get out of bed with aches, but it does not ache as much. I mean, who can identify with that? I mean, like the first thing is waking up and then you come up, the core hurts, the back hurts, the legs hurt. Maybe you have to slide off of your bed sideways. This is maybe just a sign of things to come, but I'm here to remind you that you don't have to accept it, right? Just start little by little. Maybe when you wake up in the morning, you say, thank you for getting me up. Gratitude. Pay that little gratitude. And it can be as simple if you have a spinal problem. We do this exercise in Kundalini spinal flex. You can be in your bed, your hands go on top of your knee, and you just lift the spine up and tuck it back. Lift it up and tuck it back. The spine is our lifeline. And we spend so much money on anti-aging, but when your spine is nice and supple, it has a glow to your skin, and your skin glows. It can be as simple as this: lifting the chest up, keeping the chin tucked in, and then rolling the tailbone back, right? So healing and wellness should start as soon as you open your eyes. Thank you. I made it. I'm alive. Because once you have life, you have the opportunity to win the day, right? And that's all you gotta do. Win it moment by moment, day by day, right? So fostering vitality, mind and body connection, it's not going to land on your lap. Just start to make small changes. Mindfulness decision. What am I doing to move my body? What am I doing to soothe my mind? We say, oh, my mind, oh, my mind. But the mind really wants to serve you. But we know how it goes. We're serving the mind, right? And this is all part of the practice, slowing down the mind, going for those walks, coming away from the computer, putting down that phone, right? I know, you get those hits, and you keep on scrolling, and it feels good because you take away from all the other stuff that you have to do that maybe you don't want to do, right? But this is where we have to slow down and come back into the moment, connect our mind and our bodies. And one of the biggest things to do that, drink water. Water moves energy, right? You sip the water throughout the day. Michelle, you are a great example of that. But one of the things that I do share is, I know some people don't like the taste of water. They might think it's boring. Be creative with your water. I have cloves in my water. You can put mint leaves. Yes. There's so many things. Lemons, berries, right? Stick it in the fridge the night before. And, like a berry comes into your mouth and it hits all those flavors, right? It hits all those flavors. So there's so many things that you can do, so many self-care things that you can do that doesn't cost a lot of money, doesn't take a lot of time. But what it does take is some initial thinking, what are some of the things that I would like to change or adjust, and take it from there, right? Maybe I just want to move more. So 2 or 3 times a day, I stand up, I stretch. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just keep it simple, because you deserve health, you deserve wellness, and let's face it, you're probably not going anywhere anytime soon because we're living longer. We're living longer. There's more information on health and wellness. And why not make the years fun, enjoyable? Reinvent yourself. Have fun. Be silly. This is your time now. This is your time. Don't be afraid to pour into yourself. Because once you pour into yourself, that's really when the magic is going to unfold. And with that, Miss Marianne, I just wanted to say that thank you so much. If anyone resonates with me, the Kundalini yoga, I teach accessible yoga from a chair or from a mat. Or if you feel that, you're really doing your best and you want to take your physicality to the next level, I know that the magnesium can help. Let me just put a little bit on. There it is. Small quantities. Smooth. You put this on your skin and your skin just glows. I always take out too much. I forget how a little goes a long way, right? Just apply. And then not everybody wants stuff all over their hands or has the patience to wait until it absorbs in your skin. Our calming spray. I highly recommend this, to have this at your desk. When you see your boss call in or your kids, what's for dinner? And you forgot to take it out, just spritz it on anywhere. Your wrists, the soles of your feet. If you travel and you get restless leg syndrome, this is perfect. But what I have found is the biggest way that this calming spray helps people. They spritz it on the soles of their feet before they go to bed at night. And it's like lights out. Because let's face it, when you get enough sleep, you feel like you can conquer the world, right? So, magnesium, the master mineral, and self-care, you are so worthy.
So amazing and so true. I usually put, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to have to try that because I usually put frankincense on my soles.
Wow, you know all the little tricks.
Not all, I know some. I've been around for a long time, Maxine. Dr. Grant and I don't even know if he's, let me just see who's still here. Dr. Grant and I go back a long way. I've been studying with him, and not just with him. I mean, prior to that, my goodness, I had the pleasure of, being around before we did things online. And I've been to Switzerland. So I went there for 2 weeks. We went into the Alps, right into, like, literally right in the Alps. We were up on this really amazing. We flew into Zurich and then took a train out to St. Gallen, which is where a lot of the private schools are. And then from there had to go up a mountainous hill. I'm not really sure what to call it. I call it a mountain. I'd call it, we were right in there, and I had the pleasure of hiking because that was one day that was on our agenda. One day we did Tai Chi in the morning every day, right outside. Like, it was beautiful. I did things like that. And of course, there was Arizona and so many different places, like Hawaii several times. I've been to Hawaii 7 times. I mean, half of that was just for courses. And I also had the pleasure of holding a retreat there with a friend. So that was good too. And I want to get back into doing retreats because that's a big love of mine. I love doing that and teaching classes. And I think I haven't been doing enough of that. So, we got to do what's in our heart. And so Maxine and I bonded. We had a mutual friend. He introduced us. And then we both found out she was right in the process of taking, because Maxine's younger than me, can't you tell? Isn't she stunning? It's this way, although Michelle's very stunning too. On my screen, that's what I see. And Michelle and I are going to be doing an event in Pennsylvania. Woohoo! I am going to Pennsylvania in November. We are doing a Christmas show event, and then who knows what else we're going to come up with. So stay tuned for that one. And I do want to mention while I'm here that I am putting on for local people or for anyone who wants to fly into Mississauga or wherever, we are going to have a 4-hour wellness expo inside of a scalar clinic. So for people who are going to be the vendors, but even the other people, the guests that are coming in, you'll be able to be there for 4 hours, like 4 hours, and you're working and you're probably going to be representing a product that you love. So like for someone like Maxine, it'll be the love of her life, the magnesium. For me, it'll be my other love, which is APL Go, which has just gifted me my 6th trip since I've been with them, and it hasn't even come out to 6 years yet. 6 years, oh my gosh, to 3 years yet. Even I'm like at 2.75 years with them, and I just earned my 6th trip, and it's to Greece, and it's a cruise. So one day in Italy, I think it's Bari, which I haven't been to Bari. I've been to Italy several times. When I lived in Europe, we used to go shopping there. So I've been to Italy like 14 times, and I'm just saying 14, but it's probably closer to like 25, who knows? And so amazing. So if you're interested, if you're a vendor, please connect with me. Of course, there is a price for it, like everywhere else, but it is going to be inside of a scalar clinic. So you will be getting healed as you're doing business. And what more can you even ask for? And I'm going to tell you, Maxine, I know because you were teaching classes and whatnot, but as we started speaking, all 3 of us, like all 3 segments, we all did meditations, just so you know. The previous speaker before you did a meditation, we did a meditation. Dr. Grant and I did some breathing exercises too. And we all talked about the soils being crap and not good anymore, and how much better Europe's food is just because their soils are better than ours. It is what it is. It's not, you just have to work around it. That's all. And it's absolutely amazing that we all talked about, very, very similar things. And you have to take care of yourself, and you have to eat, it's just simple things. We were talking also about how, now I'm 63. So a lot of people, will ask me. I don't have a problem with people asking me my age, and I certainly don't have a problem telling the truth. Like I've always been like that. I have friends that won't even tell you. I have people that won't even tell you how old they are, which is hilarious. And they're like, oh, okay, well, what medications are you on? And not even are you on any, but which ones are you on? Boom, like assuming I'm on some because I'm 63. And I'm like, wow, that's presumptuous. And I said, I'm not on any. And they're like, what? You must be on something. And I'm like, yeah, I take a lot of supplements, but I don't, I've always taken supplements. In fact, I've taken supplements, I believe, since I was 16 or maybe even 15, and then more intensely at 19, because at 19 I started selling them. So I thought, oh, if I like this, if this is going to work so well for me, imagine what it's going to do for other people. And, if you find something with a high vibe, which I did, they're phenomenal. I mean, they're made from the DNA of the plant, and they're infused with negative ions, and they're, all of that makes them 100% absorbable, or at least up to say it properly, it's up to 100% absorbability. So there you go. Now I've done the proper thing. But they're absolutely amazing, and we need to. We have, our food is lacking so many nutrients. It's not like what it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And it's not like Okinawa. It's not like the blue zones. Like, they all have good soils, so they can do different things. But you got to work with what you have, because I like where I live for other reasons, right? So I don't want to move. Maybe later, but not right now. Right now, I'm happy. Michelle, you've taken my supplements too, not mine. Like I own them. I just sent a whole bunch to Michelle's place.
I have one in my mouth right now.
See, and me too. I've been taking them along as I go along. You have the stop? Yeah. We'll be talking about those later. Yep. I have all my, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Maxine, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I love the background. I love this. This is so cool.